Welcome to Dark Horse Workshop, everybody. Today we're doing a post-apocalyptic / dystopian take on a 17th century plague doctor mask. So let's have a look. Remember that you can get all the patterns and artwork for my projects on my website, and link in the description down below. And you can also get the same patterns and artwork on the month they are released on my Patreon. So have a look at that. It's a really good deal. This is always the easiest way to transfer your pattern. If you're new, just print it out, tape it down, punch all your holes, and cut it out. And just a reminder, for the first 24 hours after the release of this video, this pattern will be on sale at a discounted price on my website. So there's another reason for you to make sure that you hit the bell icon and turn the notifications on for this channel. My friend over at Legion Props, link in the description down below, has graced me with this pattern to offer to you guys. So have a look at his Instagram. He does a lot of costumes and other builds, though right now he's kind of a full-time dad. Oh, and make sure you check the description of all my videos for links to most of the tools and supplies I use in my videos. I'm just using some heavy waxed thread for this project. I think I went a little overboard on the stitching. Really, it can just be whip stitched down like you'll see in further parts of this build. But if you want to stitch it this way, feel free. Now, the order in which you stitch this project together is kind of important. You're going to want to start from the center out. Just make sure your holes are lining up properly, nothing's shifted around. I know for this project specifically, there's a couple spots where you have to go through the same hole twice to make sure everything lines up on curves and corners, like you'll see here in a bit. But other than that, it should be pretty straightforward. It's right around this point that I decide that I am doing way too much stitching and decide to just whip stitch most of it, which turned out just fine. I do think the mix of stitching that I've done on it does add a little extra post-apocalyptic / dystopian flair to it. It feels like somebody has restitched it or passed it down, or a couple of different people added parts to it. I like that look. Now, right around here is where things start to get a little interesting, at the corners. A few times at corners and curves, you may have to stitch through the same hole a couple of times to line everything up. If it looks like your stitches are going on a crazy angle, then just think about going through the same hole twice so that they can match up again and continue along. Don't stress too much, just make sure that you're stitching from the center and keep an eye on how your holes are lining up. Should have beveled this first, doesn't really matter. This is the one edge that doesn't have any stitching on it, as well as the one edge that I was going to add another piece and decided not to. So these holes here on right here are just decorative now because I decided not to add a piece there. So just bevel and burnish this spot, better late than never. And finish up your stitching, then move on to the eyes. Here's another great couple of corner examples where you're stitching through the same hole multiple times to make sure you take the curve appropriately and line up your holes again. Here's that spot where I was going to add another piece to this pattern. Punched all the holes and decided against it. So the pattern won't have these holes, so you probably won't punch them, but I have punched them, so I'm just doing a decorative stitch down through all these holes to make it not look like it's a mistake. Here I just left a little too much material at the beak point, so I'm just trimming it off a little bit. Do that if you want to. I found some super cheap sunglasses, and they had mostly roundish lenses, so I just popped them out and used them for mine. Just using a little black tokonole for my burnishing agent and my hand burnisher. Get those edges nice and smooth. And then we've got to throw on some kind of strapping. I'm going to throw another video up here for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this last one. Make sure you like and subscribe if you did. Obviously, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future content. And until next time, keep on being creative in whatever it is you do.